Hey girl, hey. Yeah. Let's go. Hey girl, hey. Yeah. Let's go.
Hey girl, hey.
All right, I'm hopping right in, y'all. Hey girl, hey, welcome to the Hey Girl, Hey podcast. I'm your host, Kim Miller. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Look who I have with me, my beautiful 75 Hard family and Richie.
Yes.
And Richie.
I said beautiful. I feel like that sounds girly.
Have a beautiful
Listen,
spirit.
I feel like this episode is so anticipated. I've got so many messages like, when are you doing a podcast about the 75 Hard? Here it is. And I have majority of our 75 Hard squad with us. We're missing maybe one or two people, I think. But anyway, here we are, y'all. And we
Yes.
all just have so many feelings and thoughts. I'm trying for this not to be 3 hours long.
Yeah, for real.
But I want to first start with everybody introduce yourself really quickly, and then I have like questions for everybody. So go ahead, start with Rashay.
Okay, sure. My name is Rashay Davis, and I am Kim's cousin.
Yes.
Yeah, Brittany Morris.
My friend who I've wanted on the podcast since I started the podcast, so we won't even go there. Go ahead, Richie. And Richie has been here before.
Richie Allen.
Pastor Richie, who we
Yeah.
love so much. But this is part of our team. And Brittany, I'm going to start with Brittany because Brittany brought this to us. And
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad.
Yes,
Yes.
I know, look, kinda,
what
right.
do we owe you? Like, yeah, we don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
But I remember Brittany I remember seeing on Brittany's social media first. And I was like, man, that sounds good. I'm always up for a challenge.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but my birthday's coming up, so I'll do it later. And then me and Brittany happened to be at a gathering that week. And she was just
I
kinda
was
talking a
starting
little bit of-
the
you
next
were starting the
day?
next, yes, the
Or
next
next
day.
week, something like
So
that.
if-
It was close.
If the gathering was Friday, you were starting Monday.
That's right. That's right.
And I remember, like, in that moment, like, telling her how I want to have birthday cake, so I'm not going to start, but I'll start, like, the week after. And she was just like, okay, well, whenever you start, we have a group chat, so whenever you start, just jump in. And I was like, wait, I can't start by myself. Like, I got to start with the team. And that's what kind of had me... I literally jumped in super blindly. Very, very blindly. I don't advise it, but I felt like it was like now or never. Like I need to do it with support.
Right.
And that's kind of how I jumped in.
You
So
did just decide.
I
You did that.
I
yeah.
decided that Friday.
Yeah.
Told Jesse about it Saturday. Sunday, I was like getting in my mind and prepping. Jesse still had no idea even what it was. He literally jumped in blindly. He hadn't listened to the podcast or anything. But Monday, he's in there with me. But okay, Brittany. So quickly tell people what it is and how you kind of came into it. What was that thought process for you?
Sure. So, I first heard about it. I don't know how common knowledge. I feel like it's real hit or miss if people have heard of this or
Yeah,
not.
for
So there's
sure.
that. So we'll talk about. I'll lay it out what it is before we start going off about all the things about it. You're like, what is it? So the way that I came to know about it is I do Camp Gladiator to work out, and my CG trainer, Jennifer Juno, JJ, shout out JJ, she's amazing, but she had posted about it back in the spring, and she was doing it, and she's kind of like, she's super fit and like a beast just overall. So I'm like, of course she would do something like that, you know?
right.
And like whenever she posted about it, I was like, that is ridiculous. There's no. I'm about balance and this is extreme. No. That's what I said the first time I saw it. And then she did it. She finished it. She posted her results. They were amazing, of course, just all around. And she mentioned it out at a workout one day that she was going to be doing another round, and she had a group chat and all this stuff for accountability. And I knew what it was, and I had read about it briefly, but then I heard about it the second time, and the fact that she was going back for a second time piqued my interest. And so I was like, I couldn't get out of my head. And I think y'all probably, it got in here, and I didn't think I could do it. I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm consistent about some things, but not a lot of things at once. And like, I just didn't think that all those things at once. I said there's no way. I'm too busy. And so let me say what the things are for anyone that's listening to this that does not know what they are. So 75 Hard was created by Andy Frisella, who, created this program. I think he was in a personal funk and wanted to get out of it. And so he's like, for 75 days, I'm going to do this thing. The biggest thing is it's a mental toughness challenge. It's not a weight loss challenge. It's not a fitness challenge. It's a mental toughness challenge. And when I heard that, I thought that's definitely an area that I need to improve for sure. I think pretty much anybody would agree that they're not, maybe except for Andy Frisella, he's winning in that area, but and his friends. But anyway, so for 75 days, there's tasks that you do every single day, no matter what. Doesn't matter how busy the day is, doesn't matter what you have going on, no matter what. So for 75 days, you do 2 workouts a day that have to be 45 minutes, and one has to be outdoors. Yeah. They can both be outdoors, but one for sure has to be outdoors, and that's regardless of weather. You have to drink a gallon of water a day, and you have to choose a way of eating. And so this is one thing where people are like, what diet did you do or what? So you choose a way of eating, and you stick to that way for 75 days.
Yeah, right.
And so there's that. And so it doesn't tell you what way to eat. So that's different for everyone. And then you drink a gallon of water a day, and you read 10 pages of a book a day, of a nonfiction, like self-development type book. And then you take a progress picture every day. So I didn't miss anything, did I?
Nope.
Those are pretty ingrained in my head after the last 75 days. So that's what 75 hard is. So those tasks you do.
And if you miss one of those,
you have to start over.
You start over at day one.
You have to start over day one. So one thing I told myself, so that's what it is. Yeah. So I decided, I was like, I'm gonna just try this. Yeah. And in my mind, I thought, I highly doubt I'm going to finish it, but I just want to try it. Yeah. I want to see if I can. And so I decided to, so that's when I made the post that I was going to be doing it. Yeah. And I think for me, there's a mixture of ways to approach that. Some people think that if they post about it, that either they'll be annoying or they won't finish, or all these different reasons that people have. But for me, I knew, because I'm a pretty prideful person in some ways, like I don't want to look stupid. Right. And I knew that if I posted about it, that I would be more likely to finish it because people were watching me, and they were. People were. Yeah, right. We had a freaking hurricane, and I had people messaging me, what are you going to do for your outdoor workout? Remember when that hurricane happened? Thankfully the hurricane wasn't that bad, so I was able, it was a little rain, but it was fine. Yeah. So anyway, that's what it was. And so here we are, and we finished.
Yes.
Yeah.
We made it.
So that's how it came about, though. So when I posted about it, Richie and Heaven hopped on board, and we had some dialogue. I sent them the podcast, which we'll reference, and you guys should listen to it if you're interested at all. I definitely think you need to listen to that podcast episode. But he listened to it, and we were talking back and forth, and he was just like, we both were like, we don't finish things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I was saying the same thing. I said, I start all kind of things, and I don't finish it. Yep. And so the belief in ourselves was really low 75 days ago, but that's changed now. Right. But anyway, so... And then Kim saw it, and she was like what she said, and then we were at the same place, which was cool, and I got to talk about it. And so we all started day one at the same time, and we finished, which is so cool. Did. So that's how it came about. Yeah.
And so Richie, I don't even know if I'm ready to get to you.
Yeah.
This thing went real low.
Yeah, you might need to build up to that one.
Yeah. Said tell you to fix it, but. Yeah. I'm not ready for you yet. I'm sorry. Hold on. Because there's so many layers to yours. I don't even know. Yeah. But Rashay. So me and Rashay, she texted me like, I'm thinking I might want to do it. And so she was kind of on the fence. And I was just like, girl, just do it. Because at that point, I'm like, girl, I'm doing it. Anybody can do it. Right. And so what was that for you? What did that look like on your end?
I originally saw it when you posted it in your stories on Instagram. And I was like, 75 hard. I was like, I'd heard of it from someone else. And I was like, let me just kind of look into it a little more. And then whenever I saw all of the tasks for the day, I'm like, oh, man. I was like, no way am I going to do this for 75 days. Yeah. And then I started talking to my husband about it, and he was like, well, babe, why not? Yeah. Like, why not? I was like, well, it starts tomorrow. And then after talking to him, and you told me to listen to the podcast, so I listened to the podcast, and after that, I just got pumped. Yeah. Like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Yeah. And I said the same thing that you said. I'm like, it's now or never. Yeah. And I knew that it would have been better for me to do it with a group. Yeah. So that's whenever I ended up calling you saying, you know what, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and I literally just jumped in and didn't look back. Didn't look back, but Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Look, it was hard. So the name, yes, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I will say
absolutely.
to anybody who's interested, this it's not a type. I think you kind of mentally should prep yourself as much as you possibly can, but it's nothing you have to do to prepare.
Right,
Like you
no.
don't need time because you can literally
You
decide.
can't really.
it's like
Yeah.
having a baby.
right? Is there
It's
any
one of those
preparing?
things. Like, don't ever feel like, oh, I need to prepare. It's no real preparation besides
Right.
just
Yeah.
making a decision to do
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And then possibly, I mean, I guess if you want a meal plan, maybe
Yeah.
that can help.
Right.
Thinking about food ahead of time definitely
that
helps.
can help, but it's
Yeah.
not required.
Sure.
Like
Right.
you can literally jump into it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I kept saying like I remember being 6 days in and feeling like I can't lose these 6 days.
Right.
Like, it was
Yeah.
like I've given 6 days.
Right.
I
Right.
gotta keep
Yeah.
going.
Right.
So
69 days left.
so my one best friend was like, girl, it just seemed like it's going so slow. And I'm like, girl, I'm so proud. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like 14 days in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it felt like so much to me. So,
Right.
it's just the most craziest, transformative thing
Well,
that
and
you
I'll-
can possibly
It
go
is.
through.
One thing too, before we dive into our personal experiences with it, but one of the biggest questions, I'm sure you guys got this too, because I had a lot of people at work asking me about it and stuff like that, but they're like, well, what if your first reaction, I think, in mine was to try to change a part of it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, can I just do, one thing I didn't say earlier about the workouts is they have to be at least 3 hours apart.
Yes.
Right.
So you can't do an hour and a half and call
Yeah.
that a day.
Yeah.
That was one of my first things. I was like, well, I can work out for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I have to do 2 times a day. But after you listen to the podcast, you learn about it's not your first kind of human instinct is to try to cut corners
Yes.
around it. And so the tasks that we said, like that's what you, if you choose to do the program, that's what you do.
Yeah,
You don't adjust it or
and,
Right.
and I was like, well, you could do that. You're not doing 75 hard.
Right.
Right, yeah.
You created your own program.
Yeah.
Great. I think that's still great.
75 cupcake.
But that's not. That's not
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Okay, so Richie, I'm gonna try to hold you back a little bit because I want you to tell me about your experience jumping into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's stop right there.
And it was
Because I got so many things I want you to
Yeah.
touch on, but get into like what was your
No, that
walking
was-
in?
This very similar to Brittany when Brittany posted about it, and I was like, I think I may want to think about this, about doing this, and mostly for me it was the discipline thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for me, I've always struggled with discipline.
Yes.
I've dealt with weight gain for all my life, most of my life, and didn't know how to stop saying yes to ice cream, and then other things, just in general. So I was at a point where I was like, I've got to do something to discipline myself. Now I'm self-employed now, and it's hard for me to stay in rhythm with things, you know, because I let myself get distracted by other things, and I'm just not as disciplined as I wanted to be. And so I was like, I've got to do something that will shake me enough
Yeah.
to really do something about this discipline thing. Because I remember like for months before, this is so stupid, but I would like Google how to be more disciplined because I'm like, I know there's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've got a problem,
Yes.
but I don't know what to do about it.
Yes.
And there's books about discipline, but it's just concepts.
The
and it's
practice
what
of
do
it,
you-
yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, this is as good a chance as any. And it was a last minute, it was like a few days before for me too. And
Because you were chewing on it for a little bit.
I chewed on it for a little bit. And I was like, I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, why not? Just like here's the one thing about 75 Hard is that if you try to plan it where it's at a good time, it's never going to be a good time.
Right.
There's nobody has 75 days of nothing.
Uninterruption, right?
That nobody does. It's like it's either going to be the holidays, or it's going to be a birthday, or it's going to be a
Yes.
something
Vacation,
else, a
or-
wedding, or there's something else going to happen. You're not going to have 75 days straight,
Yeah.
right? And so I was like,
Take a quick
I'm not
pause.
even going to look at the calendar
Yeah.
because
You
at this
wanna
point, I don't know.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Go.
We'll keep this in probably. Boom.
You still going?
How long has this been going on?
Oh, that just started.
just-
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how we do, people. This is how we roll. Yeah, absolutely though. Yeah.
So that's what it was for me. It was just like there's not going to be a good time. I'm not even going to waste time looking at my calendar. Because I knew I had trips coming up. I knew all of that. And I was like, just commit to it.
Yeah.
And let's just freaking make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, let's just do it. And so we did.
And you were like week 1 out of town.
Yes.
I remember
The
like
whole
right.
week. Yeah,
yeah,
I was
you
in
were.
Fort
That was
Lauderdale.
majorly inspirational off the
Right.
bat because then we had a surprise trip like 2 weeks later, and I remember thinking like Richie did it, so we could do it because it is challenging when you're out of town. I mean, that was, you know,
My first day was in a hotel gym. Like the first day, I was like,
Don't touch
okay, make it happen.
Sorry.
it's okay.
Yeah, you don't need to touch it.
Okay, because it's like going low.
It like drops on him.
Tighter. Got some tape.
It seems like it. What you did made it better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it wouldn't stay at all a minute ago.
it's all right. No, but I remember like if we started on the 9th, was it
The
was
9th, August 9th. Yep.
So on my birthday, so it was about 2 weeks later, we were in LA, and that's when I remember feeling like this is something special that's happening because Jesse and I were working out. We were literally, and I don't advise this, y'all, but I'm just trying to tell you it could happen. We were like up at like midnight drinking water and like working out in the hallway.
But you were making it happen.
We were making it, and me and Jesse have never been together 15 years. We have never been in sync like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
cool.
normally he gets on my nerves when it comes to like workout stuff. Like we just cannot do it.
Right.
Because he's like, all of a sudden he's a trainer. I'm like, I never knew he was a trainer. What is happening? And it never works out. But we were in sync, and I got so many cake presented to me, and I did not eat it. And I was just like, this has never happened to me in my life. Like I eat cake on my birthday.
Right.
Like his uncle in LA got a cake ordered special just for me. I felt terrible because I had to leave it for the housekeepers, but I was just like, I'm actually not doing, like, I couldn't believe. So that was about 2 weeks in, and I started to feel like a real mental change happening.
Right.
It's not obviously there yet, but it's coming, and it's like this is like really, really happening. I want to talk about what was your hardest week. So each person, or what was the hardest moment for you?
I would say for me, I have a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Wow.
So I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so my husband is at work, all day. And I, with the kids. So trying to really get those workouts in. Like the 2 workouts, that was like just extremely hard almost the entire time.
Yeah.
And what I started doing, I started waking up like at 5 o'clock in the morning when my husband would, start getting ready for work. And I was literally walking or working out in our bedroom. And then sometimes my youngest daughter would wake up and I would strap her on me in the carrier because she wouldn't want to be down. She would want to, me to hold her. And so I would just put the carrier on and
Get it done.
get it done. But that was so hard. But you asked for the hardest week. I would say it was actually towards the end, because we just had so much going on one week, and we, had like some people at our house, and just like all kinds of, stuff was kind of going on this one week. And I was drinking my water, to finish my gallon of water at like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and finishing reading my 10 pages, which I thought reading was going to be a breeze because I love reading, right?
Yeah.
But getting those 10 pages in every day was a struggle too.
Yeah.
But I would say for me, that was my hardest week whenever there was just a lot of things going on one particular week, and just finding the time to get those workouts in. And even one of the days, the mosquitoes were horrible. And my husband didn't realize that I hadn't finished my second workout, and he was working out, and he worked out a little later than normal. So I still had to do my second workout at like 9 o'clock. The mosquitoes were horrible. He was like, babe, just this one time, you can't work out inside. Like you can't. I was like, oh no, that would like ruin the entire program. No. It's not going to work like that. So I literally just hopped on my bike and just rode in front of our house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that, you
Wow.
just like, I literally learned throughout this whole, whole process that when you really want to do something and when you actually put your mind to it, there's no stopping you. There are no excuses. Like I didn't use anything as an excuse. The the kids, you know, if we had something to do that evening, then I would try to get everything done before I left. And I just learned that I can do it. And I did it just like Brittany and Richie said, you know, more of a discipline thing. Like I would start things and just stop. You know, and especially after kids, I feel like I used to be a lot more disciplined before I had kids, and then after kids, it's just like your whole life changes, and it's like, you know what, I used to be able to finish things, and now I stopped. So this was really like a jump start more than anything, and now I just feel like unstoppable.
That's awesome. Like, what else do I need to do? I can do anything. What about you, Britt? What was a very difficult time for you?
Yeah, I can think of two. The first one is that, so we started this August 9th, and I work at a high school. So the first few weeks of school are very, very stressful. Stress eating is a thing. Right? And I also, working at a school, and anyone that works at my school knows, we call it the Dawson dozen. Like, you gain weight when you work, because we just have a lot of food all the time. So that I was surrounded, the whole time I was surrounded by food, but that first week or two of school, everybody was talking about ways they were coping with food, and I was like, cool, I'm gonna go eat like my apples, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go work out. Which actually is very stress relieving. I learned to really love my evening walks.
For sure.
But so the first start of school, and then another really hard part was toward the end, like you said, around like and Andy says this, but in the day 50, day 55, my goodness, I wanted to be done. I wanted to quit, and I really thought about it. I really did. I was like, I mean, I've done 50's good, right? So that's what that was.
I want to just hop in for a second. Sure. So Jesse did not finish the 75 hard. He got booted out day 52. Jesse.
Well, are we using the term booted out?
I mean, I'm so sorry.
She's using the term booted out.
So you did not complete, but I'm trying to give him his props because I was really proud of him because he had been doing a great job.
And he was
went
traveling
on tour.
a lot.
He was traveling. He had a lot of like really random early travel days, late travel flights, like a lot of craziness. So when he told me first of all, I was like, boo, I'm just proud of you for telling me. Not that he's like somebody to just be lying, but he could have not told me and just came home because he was only like one workout shy of finishing that day. And I think a little bit of water. Because he had like a 12 o'clock workout and then he had a 3 a.m. flight. So it wasn't going to work out to do a second. But
this is just all over the place.
I just remember being very proud of him. Like I just remember feeling like that's so much integrity to even tell me, you know, in that way. And he had already experienced like that shift. Like, so it wasn't like he did this 51 days and it was just a mess. It was like he really already was in this mode of doing these tasks and creating this discipline that I was like, you really don't lose. So I don't want to encourage people not to finish, but I want to say it's no way to not get benefits from this. If you really, really, truly do it. Can you talk a little bit to that?
Yeah. So one, you know me. Everybody in here kind of knows me pretty well. I'm like I don't have a huge tolerance for excuses and ways out. Yeah. Even this myself, I don't have a huge tolerance of excuses. Like, I didn't get it done. Yeah. But the reason why I didn't get it done. I recently been back on the road traveling, and we had a jumble of like literally performing and then stage, and you got a lobby call. So I'm trying to fit in my workouts. Hindsight, I could have fit in the workouts a little better, but I'm like was literally running on fumes.
Yeah, he wasn't sleeping. He hadn't slept in
it was a good probably couple months. I was rolling on about like 4 hours a day.
Wow. Yeah.
And, you know, just getting it done. But I was motivated, though. It was good. Like, even when I stopped, I didn't... So, yeah, the reason why I hopped out, I couldn't finish my last workout before we had, like, an early flight. And I also wasn't, like... I had to drink a little bit more water, but I was like, man, it's just... I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm like, all right, maybe I could walk around the airport and... You know, and I don't think we were at the airport that long because the drive was long. It was just a mess. But, yeah, so I... fell off and
you got booted.
I got booted. And the whole time, like I had no reservation about admitting I was super disappointed, but man, I would have ended day 58.
Dang.
I lost 25 pounds. I read about 5 books. I drank the most water I ever drunk in my life. I read probably the most I have since college.
Yeah.
But it was like it was a transformation already. I think early on, like when I was getting focused and people, this community along with like just buying into it. It was just it was a whole mental growth thing. But I did end it like, man, I was disappointed that I didn't finish 75, but I am excited for the next round.
Yeah.
But I wasn't as defeated as I thought I'd be.
Yeah.
Which isn't to encourage not feeling defeated when you do. Like, finish it, yeah. You should feel some...
Yeah.
You should feel some type of way, but I got so many benefits out of it in that short time. But the main thing I got out of it is, like, I could have made provision to finish it out.
Yeah.
That's the real talk of it.
Yeah.
I could have made provision to finish it out. I didn't. It was tough. Too tough. But whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm still excited about it. I'm still talking about it every chance I get. It's like, you know, people hitting us up like, it's a bunch of people that's trying to join on in January.
Yeah.
So
and you finished with me, so you didn't come home like, "Whoop, I'm about to have some cookies." Like,
yeah.
He still came home and like did it as if he was still doing
the mindset.
it. So I thought that was really
That's
really
cool.
sweet of you.
It took a little while to like get off the
regimen of it.
regimen because you feel weird like
Like you're supposed to be doing something.
Yeah.
But like my body was breaking super down.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
It was a couple of because during the process it's a few times where you just kind of filling up your time. So I just go on the walk. I'm like, man, this ain't no workout. So I'll do something crazy and then, all right, dude, you got to do this for more days. So the next day I'm like hurting and so I got to heal a little bit and I kind of reduced my workout to maybe like one time but an hour. Even now, like we just took off a few days to just act crazy since you finished.
Yeah.
And but I'm back on tomorrow. I'm not doing the two a days, but at least an hour.
I think we all can agree to 2 a day.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next one. Though,
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the next one, at first I was like, it's crazy, I'm jumping right into it. But I feel like this one, I made it, I did it, but I didn't do it as strong as I would have wanted to.
Yeah.
Like now I'm honing on a little bit more on like time management as well.
We were trying to survive.
We were surviving.
Yeah.
You're like crawling across.
Yeah,
the finish line.
that's how I feel. But I feel like I can do it a little bit better, and I could help other people on just things I learned. So
it's not too extreme. Like when you get into like
when you get in
rhythm,
a groove,
right?
it's not too crazy.
Yeah,
And
you
you feel like it's a
learn,
part of your life at this point. Like I started feeling like,
Yeah.
I guess maybe around day like 30, 40 or, somewhere around there that is just like, oh, just what I do.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, I do 2 workouts, I drink a gallon of water. I
For
just
sure.
felt like it was just a part of life at that point.
And you still have time for other things.
you
Yes.
do.
That's the cool,
Right.
interesting takeaway from that.
Right.
You still have time to do other things.
Hey, congratulations, y'all!
Yeah.
Y'all killed it.
Thank you.
Keep going. Look
All
forward to
right,
the next
Jesse
one.
Miller, have a
Holla.
great night. You could go get Aubrey ready for Halloween.
Just went off. Let's check. It may not have, but it like just happened.
That's okay.
Still good? Okay, all right. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to get a little deep here because
Come on, dude.
there was some deep things that happened here.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Richie, if you go back and look at like your messages like day one or even like that leading into it, I remember you were coming in hot with like y'all, we're gonna be looking. You was like prophesying over us,
Right.
Yes.
And it was and in retrospect, it's like we had no idea what we were gonna go through in those 75 days. And you specifically, if anybody is the real MVP of this group, is you. Like you inspired
Yes.
all of us. But can we get a little bit into heaven? And I want to have heaven just come by herself as well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go really deep.
Yeah.
But just tell a little bit about what that was like walking through with heaven.
Yeah. So Heaven just decided she was going to jump in with me, like literally a couple days before. I had talked to her about it, and I was like, I think I'm going to do this. And then a few days later, she goes, you know what? I think I'm going to join.
Yeah,
you.
y'all
I'm like,
texted me,
really?
both of you. You're
Okay.
like, we're starting.
I was not expecting that. From her.
Yeah.
I just wasn't, And so she was all in, and so the shortest version that I could tell you about this is that she was in and was doing 2 workouts a day, and she would get to the point where she had a herniated disc in her back years ago, and so she would occasionally have problems with her lower back. And so she started having some problems. She did doing some walking, jogging, and some yoga, stretching, and stuff like that. Some pretty drastic stretching. You know, yoga is not just
Yeah,
if you
right.
do it
Yoga's hard.
It's actually not easy.
Yeah.
And so, which I did it 2 times, and I decided no, I would rather go work out and pick up weights instead of trying to do these, because it was actually that hard. But she started having some pain in her back, and it was really, really got to the point over a period of a week or 2 where it was debilitating. About 3 weeks in, well, a little less than 3 weeks in, she got to the point where she was flat on her back. She could not exercise, and that's when she had to pull out from the deal. She was literally screaming every night, like what I would have to pick her up and take her to the bathroom. And, I mean, it was really a bad deal. But we thought it was her, her back, and we thought it was exacerbated by the 75 hard and all that stuff. Long story short, we found out over a period of 3 ER visits and everything, MRI, she had a tumor on her back, and 3 actually, and and it was cancerous. And so that was a whole other level of difficult, and of course she was very disappointed to not be able to continue on. But I mean, you just can't. There's no way she can move. She can move, and she's still to the point where she's out of the hospital, but she still can't move. So it's been that's been an interesting journey to try to keep all this going. With all of that going. So that's been it's been a thing.
And what do you like? I'm like, it blows my mind that you still did it.
I know, me too. I was waiting. I'm not gonna lie. I was waiting to hear that you're like, guys,
and we were gonna.
I'm tapped out, and I would have been like, okay.
Well, if
everyone would understand.
If you want an excuse, that's probably a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
It is probably a good one. I just think that for me, part of it was spiritual, because I realized that what we were about to step into when we got that diagnosis was going to require a lot of faith. And for me, it was just kind of a physical response to a spiritual thing. That was saying, okay, I gotta buckle down, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. Right? Like, I'm doing this faith thing, but I'm also going to do this thing because I have to prove to myself that I can make it through. And so that's kind of, I guess that's what it was for me. It was just like, I am not going to let this stop us from what we're supposed to do. And it was a spiritual thing, but it was kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It was just a physical manifestation of something that I was really feeling spiritually.
Absolutely. I mean, that you perfect segue, because I want to touch on that as all faith believers here. It became very spiritual to me almost immediately. Because when you realize, like, this is probably the most disciplined I've ever been in my life, it then forces you to apply that to your spiritual. Like, I every day I was incorporating some type of spiritual devotion or some type of spiritual correlation, because it was so, and that's why I was like, dang it, I'm mad that this person that's not a faith believer created this, because it's such a biblical principle and concept.
He posts scriptures and stuff.
I'm so
I think
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Cusses a lot.
Yeah.
He does cuss a lot, but I'm sorry, I didn't know you were a believer.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want it to be something that like churches incorporate, or like ministries incorporate, because I heard from God so clearly during this time, and I made sure I tried to incorporate like spiritual books or my Bible or, things that would also edify me spiritually. But I remember, this was like 2 weeks before the challenge ended, man. Oh my God. I think I had like the worst week of my entire life. And I had to keep going though. And it was just something in me like, well, you have to keep going. Like that Wednesday, my daughter lost our keys to our car. We only had one key. And it was $400 to replace. And it was the weirdest thing. She went to check the mail, which is like 100 feet from my house. In a 5-minute span, the keys were gone. So one of those crazy things that happens that you can't explain. I mean, we searched up as a family searching for these keys. So that was tough. Then 2 days later, I was going roller skating. I had a terrible fall, y'all. It was such a mess. I can't even believe this happened to me. But I fell right out of my driveway, crashed my face into a car,
What?
Yeah, I don't know if I tell you about that. I'm so sorry. It was terrible.
You just said injury. You didn't go into
Oh, my
detail,
goodness,
but
y'all.
that's
I was
quite the injury.
I think I was embarrassed. But yeah, like I never have had a fall like this. Crashed my face, then landed on my knees, and then back. So my face is completely swollen. I have a black eye. I have photos to show you.
Oh my.
I can barely walk because my knees are like both injured, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? I still had to do 2 workouts that day because that was my first workout. I was about to attempt to go roller skating, so never will I touch roller skates for probably at least 8 months. And then the next day I lost my friend Tina, which was very difficult. So I just had a week of like very difficult things that I had to kind of juggle. But I just remember coming out of that literally feeling like it's nothing that I can't do.
Right.
And even if I'm crying, there was workouts where I was crying the entire workout that week.
Yeah.
But I still had to get it done.
Yeah.
And so it was like this thing that was happening in me, like, Kim, what can you not do? There's nothing. Because when I survived that week, I was just like, well, I don't know what else you have for me, God, but I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Like I gotta get it done. And
That's
so it
cool.
was such a spiritual journey for me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find out how I can like encourage that in anyone else that wants to do it, because I feel like it's a waste not to use that time.
Right.
Yeah,
to
for
connect
sure.
with God or you know, elevate spiritually. But yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you that one of the cool things for me is with the 2 workouts, you know, for me, I was trying to do strength training too, and a lot of weight stuff, but I wouldn't do 2 of those. I would
Yeah,
do weights
same.
on one,
Yeah.
and do cardio for another one, right? And so, do we need a break? Okay. Okay. All right. So the cardio was time for me to process and pray.
Yeah.
That worked. That really
Yeah.
was helpful
Yeah.
for me. Like early on, I was listening to audio books. Count towards your 10
Right.
Yes.
pages.
Make it
Disclaimer.
plain. Make it
Right.
plain, yes.
To be clear,
A
it's gotta be
physical
an actual
book.
Right.
It's gotta be an actual book. But for me, it was just like once I got into this, you know, the situation with heaven. Once we got there, I wouldn't listen to anything. I would
Yeah.
do the thing, and I would
Quiet.
pray.
Yeah.
I'd pray. I would get angry. I'd do all the things that I needed to do. to
Process it, yeah.
I would
Yes.
have good 45 minutes
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
to just like do the spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Work on me or
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know. And so there was something about that was soothing and kept me going too.
Yeah.
Just as much. you
Yeah.
know?
For sure.
Yeah.
What?
I
So
would
what do
say the
you
same
guys?
thing.
You want to say? You want to get
No,
into it?
yeah, I would say the same thing. So whenever I started doing my workouts in the morning, like whenever my husband would leave for work and before the kids were up, then the Holy Spirit just nudged me about like some devotionals that I had just tucked in my nightstand to start reading those, not as my 10 pages, but you know, while I'm walking, I'm literally in my bedroom reading and praying, and that just became like a thing where I actually wanted to do it and get up before the girls to have my quiet time.
That's awesome.
You know, with the Lord. And I feel like you, even now, I've still been doing the same thing. I have not been working out early, but I have still been having my quiet time, you know, in the mornings, or even whenever my youngest daughter will wake up, I still have like my devotional that I was reading, and you know, still doing that early in the morning before my day is started, and you know, I'm going here and going there. And so I feel like that's just something that, you know, the Holy Spirit just kind of nudged me, like instead of, like you said, listening to something, because I would listen to a podcast or, you know, something like that. It's like, give this time to me and let us, you know, have this time together. So it was really just a beautiful, you know, experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I remember, I just want to say this because I don't know if I told you. I remember being so mad at you because you were like, you weren't going to work out on day 76. And then here I go get a notification that Brittany just finished the workout. I was like, she lied to us. I thought we were taking
Y'all,
the
I
day
couldn't
off.
not. I took the next day off.
Yeah.
I took the next day off. But
Yeah.
what I think it's cool to see, because we're a week. It's a week and a day
Yeah.
after we finished, or week and 2 days since we finished. And I think it's cool, and it's fine. Whatever you do after is what you do. But it's neat to see that, in a way, I think all of us are working at what post 75 hard looks like.
Yeah.
But not everything is just gone by the wayside, because it feels, you feel too good, and just what the benefits of this for you and just the growth that happens, you're a different person when it's over.
Right, yeah,
like that's what I say. That's what I feel like a different person. And what you said earlier about the belief in I believe in myself. I don't have doubt, and if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I decide to, if I decide to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
But it's like, you know, you see too many things to want to just go, and I don't think it's possible to go back to how you were before. I don't think it's a thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully
I
not.
can't imagine.
I mean, we're only a week out, but yeah.
Ask us next year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's what we were saying. Like, I'm thinking, and this is what I feel today. I want to do it every January and then every August like we did it.
Oh,
so
nice.
like twice a year, because I think it's a really great reset at the top.
Yeah.
And then like before you get into, I like how we
Coming out
ending
of
right
summer.
before the holidays, coming out of summer.
Right.
So I really think it's something nice. And Madison wants to do it in January.
Awesome.
So I'm trying to figure out a way to like I do want to modify a little bit because she's 11. Like, I feel like, but not a lot. Like I think most of it kids can actually do if you just kind of structure it to a kid's lifestyle.
Right.
Yep.
So I feel like it can be something so great if families can maybe do it once a year or however often.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do the whole 75, just having a time where you as a family are so synced in. And like, I mean, Jesse and I had so many changes that happened over those days. Like Jesse went on tour. We had an opportunity to do something in LA that was really big that you'll hear about soon. I got a promotion. Like it was all these things that were happening that I feel it was God saying like, okay, I think you're ready now. Like I think you're getting to this place where you can handle, or I can trust you with this level of responsibility. So I just feel like I keep telling you like it was a game changer for us, Brittany.
That's awesome.
So I'm so grateful to have like a friend that even brings craziness to us.
That's cool. I was happy. I did not expect anyone to do it with me. I fully was prepared because my husband was not about that life, which is fine. Love you, babe. He was very supportive though of me, and he wanted to see me follow through. So when I was like struggling at 10 o'clock at night some nights, he was like, you can do it. You know, and he would even go with me and like walk or ride bikes in the evenings when I really needed to get it done, that second one. But I didn't think anyone would do it with me. So it really is cool if you can find somebody crazy enough to join you. But it's possible because I know a few people here, but you did it alone, like your spouse to do it with you. So it's doable to do it without your spouse. Like you don't have to.
And with kids.
And
Like
Carla's not here. We have to give her a shout out though. Carla Dawson did it sleep deprived. You know,
a baby.
Pastor Trinity, I don't think he made it through. We ain't gonna touch on that too much. But she did it by herself, and like I just think any
mom of
lifestyle
two,
can do it. So it's very, very possible. I just
awesome.
I want everybody to do it.
I know it. I remember about 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, I was so tired. I was so tired because I wasn't getting up early enough to do it because I had to bring the kids to school and everything and go deal with Heaven and help with Heaven. And so I would do, my workouts would happen in the afternoon and the late
at night,
12 o'clock at night, you know, whatever. And so I remember going home, I was almost home, I was like, God, you got to help me with this. You got to really help me with this. I felt like he goes, no, you're
this
on
is
your
you,
own. You're on your own. But really, I felt like he was saying, you know what? Discipline is something that you have to do for yourself.
You have to.
Ooh, that's
you
good.
have to do it. Now, the Holy Spirit can help you with other things, but the discipline part
that's you.
is self-discipline.
Yes.
You have to do it.
Yes.
And then the fruit that comes out of that is
Right.
different. But you have to do it because you're the one who's messed up the discipline. You're the one who, you know, so you do the thing. Don't ask God for help. That one's on you.
Do it,
right?
you do it.
You
do it. Make it happen.
And then see what happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you get in a disciplined place, then God can open these doors for you and things can start to happen.
Yeah.
But He can't trust you until you've got that discipline.
He can't trust. That's why I'm like, I feel like God is like, you did all right, but the way you was getting up at 2 a.m. because it was times where I had to set my alarm and wake up and finish stuff. And I mean, he didn't say anything. Andy didn't say anything against that.
Right.
But that's not the best way. I don't think that's a great way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I feel like I'm so close to like who God wants me to be. But I'm still like, Kim, you need to get your butt up. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, it's and what else is like what you said, Richie. I think it was God showing us, like, I've already given you all the tools.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's nothing I could do to help. You have resources. What are you going to do with it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, I got to do it again. Like, I want to kill it. Like, I don't want to just, like,
Just
barely make it over. Like, I want to be able to say, like, I killed this thing. And I know I can because... you know, it can only get better from here. But yeah,
What would you do different?
just my time management. Like I would every day get up early and at least do my first workout. Because it was some days I felt so good about my day. Like if I do my first workout, like how Brittany gets up really early, I can easily knock out my second one,
Right.
Yeah.
midday, early evening, whatever. But that evening workout and then a late workout,
Yeah, I
or like
couldn't.
finishing water at midnight, like all of that is for the birds. Like
Yeah.
I want to get a little better handle on
Yeah.
my time,
Yeah,
Right.
on the structure.
the structure
For
of
me,
it.
same.
Yes.
Same.
Well, I have like my work hours are very like I work 6:45 to 2:45.
Yeah.
So I just and I'm not a nice person when I don't have sleep.
Okay.
And also, I have to people all day.
Yeah.
I'm a counselor. I have to
Yeah.
help people.
Yeah. Right.
I can't help people if I'm hungry or tired. No
Yeah.
one. Y'all know.
Yeah.
Y'all know. So, like preparing food the night before, I filled up my gallon of water the night before. Every single day I did that for the whole time. I filled up
See,
my
that's
gallon
really
the night
good.
before.
Yeah.
And it helped because I woke up, I had my gallon in the fridge and it was full. And I'm like, cool, you drink this today, you know? But
Yeah.
I wasn't like scrambling to fill it up. And that helped. But because my weeks are so rigid, weekends were a little bit, you know, sometimes different. But the Monday through Friday was very much the same. And I thought it was cool. I heard it wasn't in regard to 75 hard, but I think just moving forward and 75 hard, you know, when you see someone that like looks really fit and you're like, man, I want to look like that. Or, you know, I heard someone that was really fit say that his life is it's boring what he does, but he does the same thing over and over and over and over. And he was like, it's not like exciting, you know? And I thought that was cool. And it kind of reminds me of this because y'all, there were some days you were out there by yourself that you needed to get it done. Your family was in the house doing fun stuff and you had to go and make it happen. And you didn't have to do that, but to make it happen, you were the only one that was going to do that. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to stop what they're doing while you do it. Like you just had to do it. And so I thought that was like, all right, you know, moving forward, if you want something, you just have to take it. Just do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Parents' house. We were all at my parents' house one day, my husband and my kids, and I'm like, oh, y'all, I'm sorry, I have to go outside because I have a workout to do.
They're like,
they're
what?
They're all inside, you know, just kind of hanging out, watching TV and stuff. And so I went outside and worked out.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just learn to just get it done.
You do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so proud of us, guys.
I am too.
I'm like, it's no way I could have done it without y'all. Like, it's not even a question.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way.
I would have dropped off week 2.
Dropped out.
Look, and I met new people.
I
only knew Kim, you know, starting off, and then we had the group message, and I just feel like, you know, I know
and we were like,
and we like, the cool thing is, aside from 75 hard, like, we prayed for each other during that time. Like, that was cool to have that. Yeah. You know, if we were having a hard day, we may not have gone into all the details, you know, running into a car on roller skates. But, you know, we're like, hey, guys, I'm struggling today. And there was like a group of 8 people or 9 people that were going to pray for you.
Yeah.
And I felt that.
Yeah.
Like, I felt that. And and even with heaven, like, and we still are. And that's a continued praying for. But it was just cool to be able to carry each other through that because you know that helped a lot.
Yeah, it's important.
I agree.
And I hate group texts normally, but this one was one that I like.
I did not make this group text.
I did it, and even if I didn't get to catch it as it came in, like I would catch up very soon because I needed it. It was like my strength. Like I needed to hear from y'all and see how everybody's doing. So, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
I love you too. Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think it's only up from here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be famous. And I wanted y'all to do a documentary, so we're gonna do the documentary for the next one. Because y'all thought that was a joke, but it wasn't a joke.
That's so funny.
I do wish I did tell my husband that I wish. No, you know what? I think it was my sister that I told that I wish I would have actually documented and actually captured each day.
I know.
Like, I think that would have been so good, like to just
like a
show
video journal or something.
Yeah, like putting my daughter on my back.
Yeah.
And, you know, just all of the things, killing a snake, and you know, all of the things that I went through, you know, during the 75 days.
You know what? We should create something though, because we all have some footage and some photos.
Yeah.
I think we can create something. Because I was a little disappointed. I ain't gonna lie, Andy. Like, I wanted him to gonna do some type of like collage with all my pictures. I was thinking he was gonna have more for me. At
Yeah,
the end.
yeah. Can we fix
nothing.
that out?
Like, where are all my
So
pictures at,
funny.
Andy? What did you do with them?
I gotta say,
yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't enough celebration on that 75 hard when you hit it, because it was like, okay, now let's go to phase 1, and I'm like, what was what I just
I
did?
wanted something. I did
Yeah.
want something from him, but he
Yeah.
don't really be caring that much about us. Clearly, he's like, okay, you did good, but here we go.
Right.
But yeah,
awesome.
here we go for real.
So what was y'all's like, I know we're about to be done probably, but what was like your favorite, like biggest takeaway, favorite part?
I guess for me, just the part I was saying about me and Jesse. Like, I just feel like we had never been so in sync. I think we haven't even had like one argument since we've been on 75 Hard, which we don't really argue a lot, but even like
Just little things.
we were really just so in
unity,
sync.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was a great takeaway for me. And we had some of the most like beautiful conversations on like our walks.
That's awesome.
And we would like dream cast and like vision cast, and
Yeah.
you know, if you know Jesse, he is how you see him. He is not real mushy, you know. He's real, you know, not too emotional, but I just kind of like saw a different side to him.
That's awesome.
So I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
That
Now
is.
it's just a part of us, I think. Yeah, he can't change now. So
I love, Richie, how you took your kids, like a different kid with you. That was really cool.
That was
Yeah.
that was fun. I
For your,
enjoyed
that was
like,
really neat.
When at one point when Heaven was in the hospital, she was in the hospital for 5 weeks, and so I would have to pick up the kids
All
from
during
school.
75 Hard, by the way.
Yeah,
right.
I have to pick up the kids from school, take them home, and do all the things. And so my exercise, we live on a cul-de-sac, so my exercise for a lot of those days had to be cardio, and it would be me walking around the cul-de-sac with the door locked, just so I could keep the house in view the
Right.
entire
Yes,
time.
yes.
And they had a phone number; they could call me if they needed me.
Right.
And so I would do that. And then if it wasn't too late, I would just, one of them would come and walk with me and maybe do 1 or 2 rounds down the road and back. And then another one would come out and do the same thing. And then another one. So we'd have, I'd end up with being able to spend time with each of my 4 kids individually. And that was really kind of
That's
cool.
so
That
cool.
is.
Super cool. Now, the speed was
Yeah, a little adjusting.
I wasn't
Right.
hitting 5-6 miles an hour.
Yeah, right. A little bit
1.5 is about as
adjusted.
good as it gets sometimes.
Yeah.
But that was really special, I think. That was a really special takeaway.
That's
That is
awesome.
special. What about y'all?
I would say for me, just the support of my family,
Yeah.
too, because even though they weren't actually, doing it, like my husband was, constantly, cheering me on, except when he
Yeah.
didn't want me to get, tore by the mosquitoes or whatever.
Yeah.
But like my entire family, they were constantly like, "Oh my goodness, Rashay, like you are doing such a good
That's
job."
cool.
And like, man, like my sister started reading, 10 pages a day in a book. She wasn't doing the program. My mom started doing, her own, thing. So I think just showing like that when you do something, like everyone that's connected,
It's a
to
ripple
That's
you,
effect.
cool.
right,
Yeah.
right, or they're rewarded by it as well. And so I think that was the really cool thing.
I love
awesome.
it.
I
What
love
about
it.
You doing that?
Man, I know. I feel like I have so many, but one really cool part was finishing books, y'all. I used to
Yes,
never finish
Same.
books, and it was so cool to see my stack growing. I read more nonfiction in the 75 days than I normally do in a whole year. I just don't ever finish books.
Right.
Never.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like I read 3 or 4 chapters and then I put it up.
Yeah.
So that was just so cool to see
Yes.
myself finish books.
Same.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
I'm
love
a reader
it.
now. Am I
Yeah.
You're like, what?
And
I finished 5 books.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I was like
Yeah.
4.5.
Yeah.
But and just to like know that just the whole thing we've been saying is just to see myself finish something. And also I was surprised that everybody's like, what did you do for eating? I don't know if everyone's asking you that, but it was just like a clean eating, which can vary, but eating healthy and not junk kind of thing. But knowing that I could just say no to stuff was pretty cool too.
Right.
Because I used to be like, I can't say no ever with certain things.
Yeah.
And but it was cool to be like, actually can,
Yes.
so hopefully I can.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
so exciting. So
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
yeah, we could wrap up, guys. This is
Cool.
great.
Alright.
But if you have any questions, ask any of us. I will make sure to tag all of our, because I just love perspective, and that's what I wanted to have everybody come to share their perspectives. But yeah, connect with everybody. Just while we exit out, let everybody know how they can follow everybody on social media.
At the Richie Allen. Only because Richie Allen was taken. Nothing to do with
Being
party.
brand.
The Richie Allen. R-I-C-H-I.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just at Brittany Morris, and it's spelled Brittanee. Spelled weird.
And I am Richae, Richae. On Instagram.
Is it because you're so grand and fabulous?
It's it's not. I just look. I know. No, I just Hey, that's just who I am. Like what you see. Yep, that's what you get.
I love it. Well, again, thank y'all for coming on the podcast, and I know y'all gonna enjoy this episode. Bye, girls. Bye.
Bye.